Welcome to the SKILLIFY session by Amity University Online. This is Dr. Sukanya, and I am dealing with the sociology subject from last long past years. And in various organizations, I have taught, and I have completed my research work also in the area of industry. So today we are going to discuss on the areas of a very modern aspect. I won't call it a modern anymore. I would call it contemporary. And it is a very contemporary topic, and it is a very popular topic indeed, that is social media. To understand the social media is not a very new attempt either, because we are already using social media from last 2 decades, very integrated into this area. And we do have many of the popular note on that part, that we do not show our real self in the social media. We make a lot of constructions on our images. We create a lot of artificial aspects. We add a lot of artificial aspects to our image, to our perception, to our presentation when we are working on social media. But try to think, give it a think, that when we are going out for our workplace also, we dress accordingly, right? So we add something extra to our existence, to our personality, to present ourselves at our workplace. The same thing happens when we enter the kitchen. The same thing happens when we enter the social club. Every time we change our attire, we change a lot of things. We change according to the role. This is not a very different part from the social media. When we go out in the social interaction, we are also changing accordingly, changing our presentation, how we look. We change that, right? So, what is to be understood separately in terms of social media? Social media is an integrated part. The first part where we need to understand that the social media offline and social media online, we need to understand these two platforms in terms of its pace, the time. The time is very important when we try to understand the social media, that is social media, public social media, and social media digitalized. Online social media is the fastest ever, and that is the most fascinating aspect. The time you take to organize yourself, the time you take to tie your hair and with a hairband, is far more than the time you take to change the image shade, right? Image shade in your application, mobile phone application. You can turn it into black and white, you can turn it into opaque, you can turn it into purple shade. Very quick, very fast. That is the first thing. So this is how we are going to try to understand the social media, and the how it is different in digital social media with our today's discussion. I hope this session will be useful for all the audiences, for all the scholars, for all the listeners, for all the people who have given me this time. And I'm very thankful to you people that who has considered your time to check this out. So let us begin with the idea of what we have to share with you people. This is I am presenting for today, to understand the digital self in the social media. Of course, I at the first step, I should limit myself that these words are vast, like universe. So definitely half an hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, even 7 hours is not enough to understand digital self or the social media at a whole process. So that is why, in terms of understanding the social media, I have brought one very small tool. It's not even a small tool, but it is one single tool to understand the social media. And this particular tool is called Looking Glass Self. Looking Glass Self. Now, Looking Glass Self, I am looking at the glass. Glass is looking at the me, and then how I am looking at the glass and how the glass is looking at me. So, Looking Glass Self is a particular tool which is used in social science research, and it is a tool developed by a researcher, social science researcher, in the early half of 20th century. So you can understand this tool is quite a classic one by now. It has already passed more than 100 years of time, already has traveled, and a lot of people are using it. And with the further discussion, with the further explanation, I'll show you that which are the potential area where we can use it, we can work with Looking Glass Self. So to offer you people what I have in my mind, that is, first we would be discussing on the concepts of Looking Glass Self, because it is kind of an alien term, I believe, to many of you, not to the sociology people, because sociology people are already acquainted with this dramatically fascinating idea to work in the social science research. But for the other people who are not from the core area of the sociology, they would also find it fascinating, but for them we need a little bit of introduction, little bit of explanation. And after that, I would come to the area of the steps and how the tool is, what are the steps in the tool and how the tool is working for us. Furthermore, we would be exploring some other research idea, because we are bound with the timeline as well. So I would be offering you only few research idea, but let me tell you people, those research idea would be unique and interesting and exciting. And of course, I need to acknowledge few of the people. And the first, Charles Horton Quilley, who has created this particular Looking Glass Self idea. And then Shengyan Zhao. This is one of the very recent researcher in the area of the Looking Glass Self. I wanted to thank the task of Zhao, because I am also taking huge amount of support from the Zhao's work. And let us begin, right? Let us come to our concept, that how to bring the context in the place. So this is the first. I would request you people, I would request all the listeners, all the audience, or all the online right now integrated people, to start with this idea that we are all part of how we perceive ourselves. Let me give you one single clue on this. We call ourselves modern people, which I do not agree. I do disagree a little bit. Modernity started in the world of sociology. Modernity actually started 200 years ago, and sometimes it is even farther, even more older than that. So when I wanted to think of myself, because we are working here with the perception, so when I wanted to think about myself, I really do not want myself to be tagged with the old ideas which is 200 years ago has occurred, or old ideas 400 years ago, definitely. But it is not possible. We are all in debt with the classical ideas. If we are talking about honesty, it is old idea. It is an old idea. If we are talking about hardworking, it is an old idea as well. If we are talking about value system, if we are talking about ethics, we need to fix our ethics first before we start working with an organization. These are all old. So we cannot cut ourselves out from the old fashioned ideas in that part. So that part we are modern. But when Kule was working on the Looking Glass Self, try to think, he did not have this social media, digital social media. He did have the social media, but he did not have the mobile phone or the laptop, because he was working in 1902 when he was about to publish the context of the social Looking Glass Self as a pointer. So This is the area, definitely, we are catering different ideas, the perspective. Right, this is why I always promote my students that do it and stand up for what you believe in. And believe, when we think about the belief I had at when I was 10 years old, it worked a different way when I am 20 years old. It different way when I am 20 years old, it worked. And then when I became 30, my belief system again changed. When I came to my 40s, my belief system again changed. And I'm hoping that when I'll be entering my 50s, again, I will change my belief system according to my situation. So, does that mean that I do not have a constant belief system? No, it is not. Two area. One part is a fixed area, more permanent area, and one part is the changing area. That is how the nature of the society works, and that is how the nature of the individual personality works. So yes, again, I will promote you people. The world needs your voice, and whoever you are, you have something to say, so say it. When you are engaged in such sort of ideas, you are coming to realize yourself. So how to meet yourself, it is actually not entirely but more or less divided into two areas. One is the material aspects in you. What is the profession you're picking up? What is the education background you are going through or you have already completed? What is the ethnicity you belong? What is the language you are speaking? Those are more of the permanent part. Those are more of the we do not call it permanent in our subject, we call it a structured part. So this is more determined area we work with. The food I like, right? So my comfort food is more structured rather than the food I am exploring. See, I am talking to you people from India, so my comfort food is different. But when I'll be traveling to, say, for US or UK or Korea, I would be exploring different food, right? It is not necessarily that I would be rejecting those ideas. So I may have my comfort food at the same point of time. I may have some new food added to my list. So this is how the inner core or the structured part of ourselves works. And the other part is the abstract area. Now, abstract area is not, it is not connected with the permanency. Abstract areas can be again permanent, even more deeply integrated in ourselves. That is the belief system, value system, what is the ethics we are holding, right? How we work at our workplace, how we work at our domestic area, how we give our friends support, how we give family our time. Those are the abstract area. What is the philosophy I'm carrying? Those are the abstract area, but they can be similarly integrated strong area in you. But this is two major areas. I'm cautioning you people that this is not the all areas, whole of your areas, but this is the major two areas within which our perception is getting built, rebuilt, and again rebuilt. So it is an ongoing process. Now, I am giving you, I'm sharing you all these aspects through the concept because I am integrated here with the concept of the looking glass self. And when we are talking about looking glass self, I am coming to the concentration on the part that how do I perceive myself? This is the first question social media would ask you. Social media, participating into the social media, and more or less the digital social media, as I have told you people that digital social media is fastest ever, and that is the most fascinating aspects of the digital social media. Sometime I am taking an example. Sometime I am accused of spending more than 20 hours of time in digital social media. People would take me as abnormal. right? And sometimes I'm taking only 2 hours in the social media, so that is kind of an integrate part of my life. No one is bothered, my work is not hampered, my education is also going well. And then again, a time came that most of the time I am working through the digital media. Now this time I'm placing the word a little twisted, social media, but it is digital media. Now, earlier in 2000 of academic students, university students, who would be blamed by their parents if they are spending much time of the day through the media, through the digital media. But nowadays, you can take yourself into the part that you are working through the digital media, and then you are taking the courses, online courses through the digital media. So I am assuming that more than 10 hours you are connected with the digital media. Now, coming about the social digital media, that is something separate, that is something different. Now, here in all the digital media, we need to learn, we need to be aware. This tool will make you people aware that how you should be taking taking care of the digital media while you are taking the participation from the looking glass self. What looking glass self is actually telling us to decipher. Now I think I'm getting a lot of responses through the chat box. Should I take a very insightful session? Priyash, thank you. And very good session. A lot of people are already getting connected. Aditi, please, noted line. And they are coming. A lot of chat. I will take them later on as well, because right now we are taking the most crucial part. That is how we are going to look at the particular tool we are talking about, looking glass self. Now, looking glass self is devised in three major area. Three question they'll ask. All right, our reflection, they are focusing on the area that our reflection, it is talking about the reflection, about my reflection. And of course, when we are talking sociologically, we are talking collectively. Sociology very rarely talk about individual and isolated incidents. Sociology talks about collective ideas. So that is why our reflection, it is not my reflection. And that again, you people need to understand, when I am putting a shade of lipstick, it is not my shade of lipstick, it is MAC shade of lipstick. And when I'm using the MAC, definitely I am integrated with that particular brand. And how did I came to know about MAC and Face Canada and any other as such? It is about the social media, right? So our reflection, how we are portraying our reflection of how we think we appear to others. This is entirely individual affair, that I am thinking that I should look like this. And you're saying that because when you are going out for your office, when you are going out for your university or college, you're thinking how should you look. I mean, for school students, I think the option is little limited, because they are wearing, in Indian context, they are still wearing the uniform. But yes, you will follow, you can observe that even within the uniform, you do have differences. If you have 50 people in your classroom, if you have 20 people in your classroom, all of all of the people, each of the people would look different, even wearing the same uniform, even wearing the uniform, they would look different. So this is what looking glass self's first step, that our reflection of how we think we appear to others. Now, in this thinking, we are considering the whole social system, whole great social system we are integrated with. The next step is the how we interact. how we interact with this idea that, okay, this is how I'm appearing before my audiences, this is how I'm appearing before my friends, before my colleagues, before my family. Of course, you would say, if you can debate with me, ma'am, we hardly think about how we should appear in our family. No, we do think. It is actually integrated within us. That is why we do not realize. But every time we are talking, wearing dresses, we are talking to our family members, we are working at the household system, we are trained, right? We are doing it from last, if you are 17 years old, you are doing it from last 15 years, the same thing, almost the same thing. If you are 20 years old, you are doing it again from, if you are of living with your family, then you are doing it for several years at the same point of time. So you do not realize every time that you've been already trained by this fixed pattern. Only you would realize if you change your dwelling place from household to the hostel. I am talking about the school students right now. So after completing your school, if you're going to the hostel in your college, you will first get the thrust. Oh my God, what is happening? Everything is so different. So maybe you come to more comfortable environment, maybe you come to a difficult environment, maybe you come to a mixed match kind of a environment. That is half part of it, some part of it is difficult, some part of it is familiar, some part of it's even better. So this is what is happening with the looking glass self, that you're starting considering your position, your perception, you're bringing your perception, you're making your perception, how we make relationship. This is another area looking glass self is intervening into, and of course how we break it because teenagers would hardly realize of the breaking of the relationship, but the time you will grow gradually. It is natural, it is again social, that the people we are born with, we do not continue with them until we die. We change a lot of relationship, and definitely some changes are heartbreaking, some changes are natural, some changes bring us more maturity, some changes makes us vulnerable, right? So these changes are there. You cannot identify any individual who did not experience someone's death, bereavement, migration, changing of the place, changing of the opinion. You do not have that kind of determinism in your hands, right? And the further part is how we run the whole social world. Looking at self is claiming, based on all these ideas, that social world is running. It is not determined on one fixed area or one fixed point. So what is the strategy? How do we get to understand, to create our perception? If I wanted to make a perception on myself, then what is to be done? Now, to begin with this step, let me offer you few of the areas. Let me offer you one single point. If it is possible, in your mind or your notepad or your chat box, whenever you want, you just make one single perception you have of yourself. Just make it, just have for fun, because learning is fun. Learning should be fun all the time. Learning should be the joy, not even the fun. Fun is little lower word. Learning should be the joy, enjoyment. So when you're learning these steps, first you make a note that what is the central perception you people make on yourself. On yourself. I'm giving you an example. I make a first perception on myself, that is, I am a very honest person. Okay, now let's begin the journey with this particular area. This particular point hit in my mind, or noted in my mind, right? So the steps, if we talk about the steps and the stools in the looking glass self, the first point is people present their self to others when they become disembodied and anonymous in the online world. This is where I'm talking about the digital social media. Now, what we are doing, we are presenting ourselves. Think about your Instagram format. Instagram account, think about your Twitter account, think about your Facebook account. You are continuously making posts, you are continuously contributing to the growth of their business as well. So take it seriously, why not? You're making a lot of contribution, you're making a lot of wonderful photos, you're making comments, you are giving your opinion, you're supporting some of the groups, and you are making the public opinion as well. It is not your opinion, but your collection, the collected opinion. You're contributing individually and you're making it collective, and that opinion is making wonders in the whole social world. So why not, right? So, but think about the media we are participating. That media is entirely disembodied and anonymous. Disembodied, it is not part of my existence. If I am writing something on the Twitter, it is not a part of my existence, and that is why teenagers just have a lot of switch on and off account activation and deactivation through Facebook, right? Am I talking alien? I don't think so. In a fraction of a moment we can deactivate our account if we are not liking it. And again, the curiosity of my mind gets me further uh, open my account and let's see how many people have missed me for so many hours, or maybe for a few days. So this is what is the first thing we need to learn. We need to understand that the portal we are working through, that is disembodied, that is anonymous. All right, it is not my personal. If I'm coming to the social media, it is not my personal area, it is not my intimate area. So the first step, what Looking Glass Self is offering you here, that how we imagine to imagine ourselves to appear others in the social situation. That is the first thing. How do I look? Simply take it as a point, that how do I look in front of others? That is the first step. Looking Glass Self is trying to quantify. It is trying to quantify. We can develop further the softwares on the same part, and definitely that can be a further research area. The second point is that we imagine and react to what we feel their judgment of the appearance must be. Now, I have presented myself to you, I have presented myself to the whole social media, and now I'm thinking, okay, are they going to like me? Are they going to dislike me? Are they going to stay silent? Because silence is also a reply, right? I have checked it. It's very popular. It is very, very common in our habits that I have read half of the text message from the WhatsApp portal, but I did not click on it because I didn't want the sender to realize that I have checked it. All right, so that silence is also part of my interaction. You people need to understand these parts are actually making more interaction rather than we are typing through the chat box. And these habits, why it is important, because these habits are being studied by the industry in terms of the big data. People are working on our silence, people are working on our opinion, people are working on our silence, people are also working on our secret search. People are working on our not only secret, secured, I mean to say secured one. I am searching on Google for some information. They are making business out that. I think the young generation has heard of the concept like VPN. VPN is protecting our search box. Why we need a platform like VPN? Because Google is not sharing the protection uh, we are have the right to. It is how the business world is working, it is how the organization world is working, it is how the networking system is also working. You cannot blame 100% to an organization, because it is the networking system. They do have their protocols to maintain, and those are the names I'm taking, they are all formal organization, right? So this is the first area, that when we are imagining ourselves, first we are presenting ourselves, second, in the second step, we are getting identified, we are receiving comments, we are receiving silence on our presented imagination, on our presented image or personality, or the construction of the self. And the third point is also very, very important point, that we develop our sense of self and respond through these perceived judgment of others. We do react to this, and sometimes we do cater. If we are getting a judgment, if we are getting the comments, if we are getting the remark, and if we are getting the silence, we do react to it. That is natural. That is so very natural, that that is an integrated part of the social system as well. So, how do people come to conceive their self when others become disembodied and anonymous? This is the final area where you people, this is, I have taken this extended part. This is not the part of the tools and steps of the looking glass self. This is the part I have taken from Zhao. As I have told you people, that I have taken a lot of support from Zhao's work, because that person is working very, very seriously in recent times on looking glass self. And Zhao is saying that, okay, we take that our social media is disembodied entity and it is totally different from our existence. But have we considered that we are also disembodied by the devices, by the anonymous whole? When the group is judging, when the group is putting their perception on me, I am also a disembodied entity to them. This part we never considered so far. The Zhao is presenting the idea on the looking glass self. And that is how we are coming to the area of the social media construction. And we talk about the digital self, we talk about the cyber self, digital self, how, why digital self is so different from our real self, and what is the harm if we do have a digital self which is not my real self. Digital self, this anonymous body, Zhao and the colleagues, the further researching people, they are focusing that digital self is also real. Do not try to focus, do not try to force to say that a digital self is not reality. This is how I want to present myself. Why I cannot do it, right? It is my right to present myself in a decent position, to present myself into a secured place. I can control the comments coming to my images, that what I should get. So this is how we are making our digital self and the cyber self. And definitely you will have a vivid idea if you divide, if you compare with a person of 50 years age and a person of a child of 11 years age, because the 11-year child is more educated in the social media, in the digital social media, and the 50 years old is more educated, more experienced in the social media, not the digital one, but the social media. And this is why the ideas like selfie, whenever we are taking selfie is asking me a question of their audiences, that am I liked, or am I disliked, all right, or am I receiving the silence? As I was telling you people, that silence is also creating an answer to you. So, and here we are also catering new concepts like intimate stranger. Intimate stranger? How stranger can be intimate? Because through that online portal, we're continuously talking to the strange people. And we know a lot of things about that strange person, and that is bringing us the idea. This is only idea. That is why I was continuously talking about the perception. Our contemporary life runs with perception. It is not very concrete, it is not very deterministic, it is not very much structured. That is why in sociology we call it liquid modernity. Modernity is very, very liquid platform. You have a lot of things to float with, a lot of options to float with. And liquid modernity is giving also integration with this intimate stranger, anonymous friends, right? So these kinds of ideas are coming up in the world of digital media, only digital social media, or digital society we can talk about. So when I was telling you people that this area can open you people in terms of creating your research, in terms of extending your study, your ideas. I mean, this I was thinking of the people who are working on their PhD aspects, that sometimes we get dry what to work on. Sometimes we get dry what to work on for our assignment, school assignment. Pick up all these points from for the school like assignment. Let me tell you, people, you are live on the digital media for so many hours. Then why don't you work on the ASMR? ASMR is a virtual system through which we create content, right? We create content which is stimulating the pleasure aspects. Why don't you people write your assignment on the mukbangs, the people who are continuously eating? And they're creating huge amount of like buttons, and they're creating the record amount of the views or the subscriptions. The digital viral is almost kind of a very fascinating concept, that how a particular video is getting viral, and the politics of the viral. Yes, it is connected with the power play. What kind of digital content will get viral, and what kind of videos will never hit a like button more than 80 or 100? There are in YouTube. If you go, you will find huge amount of files are hit by less than 80 likes. What is happening? If it is anonymous platform, if the digital world is totally scientific. No, digital world is not free from the politics. Digital world is not free from the power play. So these are the areas where you people can work further, because family studies, yes, it is happening. If you want, you can join these people through various universities, because they are continuously working on the looking glass self, and they are trying to interpret the interaction, human interaction, social interaction. They are working on the relationship, role play, family integration, because in India, family integration is still not, I am blessed with that, still not an issue, social issue. We are blessed with a lot of good family integration. But let me tell you, people, the fastness is creating huge differences in the upcoming life, right? We never had this kind of fast life. Think about the Instagram smart application. You people, if you're using Instamart, if you're using Blinkit, if you're using Big Basket fast review. So yes, we are almost kind of covering on these areas, on this part where we can touch upon. Now, to come with the idea, uh, with the area, that what we can carve out of this, out of our session. This is what I had for you people to discuss with, that yes, looking glass self is one single tool with which we can work on so many areas, like media studies, like organizational studies, like marketing areas as well, like cyber society. If someone is connected with cyber society, someone is connected with art and culture. Digital art is all over, infested right now, in the Instagram, in the Twitter, in the LinkedIn as well. So you people can take a lot of inspiration from all these variety of areas. And let me tell you, people, this is not all. There are further extension connected with the concept of looking glass self. So yes, this was almost the area what I wanted to share with you people in terms of my presentation. Let me hear you from your side as well, if you have comments from your side. Just let me get a short check on the chat box. Can you teach? Can you teach slowly due to fast throwing of words? Can't understand Aditi? Then you have the help of this online platform. Realign, restart, and use the slower pitch of the recorded version. Yes. Sound. All right, so far, yes, thank you. A lot of people has written that it is a nice session and acknowledgeable, and definitely I'll be, is it page, and subjective, I would like to invite your subjective comments on this part, and definitely in further also, if I receive any of such queries regarding this particular concept, definitely I would be delightful to get you all the answers I have. And that is what I can offer you to people. And this is the credit I wanted to acknowledge all the departmental members who are working with me, aligned with the hierarchical system. And Dr. Avinash Kumar is the first person I should recall. And then Dr. Coral Jasmine Barboza, Dr. Divya Bansal, Dr. Monica Rose, Dr. Kritik Mathur, Dr. Jasbir Kaur, and of course Mr. Shivakant Yadav, who is continuously helping me to make it possible. And the references, people, yes, I do have a reference list. I have taken the important note from these reading material. You people can also go through with this. That's all. And this is all I am. This is my image, if people can consider. And with this, I would like to give it a closer. Wish you all the very best, good health, and good life in the online